I gotta fit that Miata different, the opposite way that I thought it would. So much fun doing this, and remember, I don't make any money profit really doing this. Whatever money I make from the YouTube channel basically goes back into the build, and I do it for fun because I love it. We've got complete front suspension now, and the only logical thing to do, put some suspension in the rear. Because if you look at the rear of our chassis here, the triangulation part thingamajiggy of it, not very good, right? So we're gonna put a bar from somewhere on this main hoop down to the back to give us some support from this back piece trying to flip up. And then we're gonna add some X bracing in a couple spots, and then we're going to add the shocks. And the new pointer. This one's not gonna move on us, so we're not gonna have any weird angles sometimes. We'll probably have some weird angles still. Now I'm curious to see how our new air compressor is going to compare to the old air compressor back there. I actually have it set up here. The old one was loud. It would take like 20 minutes to bend one piece of pipe. This one should be a lot better. Locked and loaded. Oh my God, so much better, and you can't even hear the air compressor. Well, you can hear it, but barely. That looks a little bit close to what I wanted. Maybe we'll go 22 degrees. All right. Getting hot. It's gotta be worth something, right? And then we can put some braces from like here up to here, and then I don't know, maybe an X in there as well. Oh yeah, it looks pretty sharp, doesn't it? Always make sure to polish your rod. Both of our supports are in. Look at them go. Should probably put that back up though, right? Convenient.
Keep winning. How the hell do you make it look so easy?
Now we have our bars in here, that's really nice, but before we put any of the cross bracing in there, we have to address one issue that I've wanted to fix for a little bit. This is a Beamer differential, so it came out of some sort of BMW, E46, something like that. The outer hubs over here are Miata. So instead of trying to hagger together two sets of axles to make one axle with inside BMW flange, outside Miata flange, we're just gonna swap this differential out. I did come across a Miata differential. Thank you to the 881 crew. This big thing is a Miata diff. Now there's a couple neat features about the Miata diff that are better than the Beamer diff. One, it is smaller, which is great, probably lighter. The pinion actually sits a little bit higher than the stubs for the output axles, which is great for us because it'll give us a better angle from the engine over here, which means we can raise this differential up a little bit higher than this one, and it's gonna give us a better drive shaft angle. The downside is this one had really convenient mounting points. So there was an ear on the back you put a bolt through, and a couple ears on the front that you put bolts through. The Miata one, it has this big, long aluminum piece on the back that is not gonna work. So we're gonna have to chop that off, build our own plating in the bottom, our own mount, and then it has a weird side mount on the front here because it was some sort of like torque bar that went to the front of the car. So we're gonna have to mess around with this a little bit. The back half actually looks like it's aluminum, and the front half actually looks like it's some sort of cast steel. So there's also a couple issues. So what it really means is that before we can put our suspension and cross bracing in everywhere back here, we need to fit this differential in so we know where to build around it.
So willing to give it all, even though you might just shatter now. You're scared of time. Gotta beat the clock now. It's all up to
the second benefit, 69 pounds versus 53 pounds. So 14 pounds of weight savings just in the diff. Exciting, flashing noises. I meant exciting, flashing lights and noises and making fun stuff. All right, I just want to let you guys know there's a lot of new people here and you guys probably don't know this, but I am an owner of True North Turbos and Black Sheep Industries. Both links will be down in the description in my link tree there. We sell turbos, wastegates, blow-off valves, a lot of stuff that you need for your turbo builds. I appreciate the support. Make sure you guys go check it out. Black Sheep Industries, True North Turbos. Now I get to sit here and ponder how I'm gonna mount this stupid thing. I have no idea, not even a little bit. Oh yeah, that's definitely aluminum. I stuck the blade. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Never to be used on a Miata again. Sure, my plasma cutter won't cut 1/2 inch aluminum, so now we're on the bandsaw trying to cut 10 inches of 1/2 inch aluminum. You know what? I think the diff is actually upside down to what I think it is. So originally, the ears mounted the things that I threw in the garbage, these pieces actually mounted to the side right here. And I just assumed that that was the bottom side of the diff because why would you bolt that up and hang it? But it's a Miata, so it's obviously different. But I think this is the right way because the vent is right here. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to put a vent in the other side, cap that side off, and just flip the diff because the way that it sits right now, the transmission would spin this thing this way, which it would be going in reverse. But if I flip it over and spin it this way, then it actually goes the right way. So I'm gonna have to flip the Miata diff. Is this brace gonna hold? Probably not, but we won't know until we put it in there. I've got some more welding to do in the seams in here. And then, you know, once it's all glued together, we can only trust that the aluminum's strong enough and that make the front mount actually beefier out of steel than this rear mount was out of aluminum. Little creaky door. So I overlapped our 1/2 inches of aluminum here on that side, welded it on the top, overlap that. I'm gonna weld all the insides to try and get as much welded to this outside piece as possible because this outside piece is actually really welded to this piece. I don't know, I got a little bit of faith in it, not a lot. We're gonna try it anyways. Stupid backwards ass Miata diff. So this has gotta work, right? Right. And we've got to make a nice little home for you right in here somewhere. I have one longer axle, one shorter axle, but it's gonna give us a lot better driveline angle. How to mount that now? Oh yeah, good job, Kyle. I suck at drilling. Good. One oblong hole. Perfect. Definitely not the most ideal angle, but I think we're gonna have to make it manage. Boop. I know this looks like a bunch of gibberish, but it's gonna make sense when I build the mount. Pieces. Go like this. You know you want to go in there. Annoying. Come on, get on there. I severely miscalculated somewhere. So this was supposed to be, you know, I'm gonna cut another one of those. Well, that's better. No gas. This bracket should go in here somewhere. Well, if the old yank on her test means anything, it's not really going anywhere. And I'm glad we're spinning the right way now. This is what our bracket turned out like. It's just like a little L bracket that it's gonna get welded to the bottom bar, comes up and clamps the side of the diff with that big 3/4 inch bolt. And then these are gonna get drilled out to like 3/8 or something, or maybe even 1/2 inch. And I'm hoping that's strong enough. It's only 170 horsepower, no torque, so honestly don't even know if I can get the diff out like this, but I think I left enough room that if I pull these bolts out, pull this bolt out, it should be able to get out. You know what? Curiosity's got the best of me now. Stuck in there. Doesn't even make sense. Calling it a day. See you tomorrow. Stupid piece of shit. You know what? I just got mad. I had to put it down. Today's the next day. Still wearing the same hoodie though, because like I'm garbage like that. Come on, big money. Big money. Big money, baby. Ooh,
Pool nipples!
Now that stupid last one. I hate it. Oh wow, all of a sudden today you want to come out. Cool, just had to break the wrist and walk away. Oh my god, it's so tight. It's just rubbing the fuel tank on this ear right there, so if I actually just cut a little bit of that ear right there, or if I shave down a little bit of this, so mark this. Perfect. Diff out, diff in. Perfect. We're gonna throw the diff back in. We're not gonna worry too much about drilling these holes out to a bigger bolt size right now. It's kind of irrelevant because we know where it's gonna go, and we don't need to do the final welding and final assembly right now. What we really need to focus on is finally getting these shocks positioned in a way that we can make our rear pushrod suspension. I kind of like how the differential actually sits a little bit higher, because a design flaw of myself is I didn't really think about a diffuser when I was building the flat floor on this thing. So if the diff actually sits where it sits, we can kind of utilize this space right here to start forming a diffuser up and out and behind the car, which should increase downforce. I don't know, it's all theoretical. Nice spot for a good decal right here that says, don't know what I'm doing. Try and figure out where to put the suspension, because I can't mount it in the same place the front suspension is, because the front suspension's all the way over here. And you can't mount, see what I'm saying? It's gotta be new, it's gotta be different. Unique, just like me. We're in for some trouble. Let's start with what we know. And 2 more made. Gotta put some bearings in them. Spinny boys! Don't get it twisted though, those are from Amazon too. Once again, we use the slant technique here, so we're just gonna tack weld these things up and then show you where in the chassis that they belong. A little bit of work for, you know, some things that I already made before in the front here. Oh Oh yeah, I still don't know if I want the shocks to go this way or that way. So if I push rod in this way, the shocks will go that way. But if I flip this and I push rod in this way, the shocks will go this way. So I have to make a decision here on where I want to put those shocks. Look at all the dirt on my face. Still haven't decided. I'm not an engineering thingamajig dude, so, you know, it's fly by the seat of my pants, which happens to be hard. The act of doing it, not in my pants. I think this is the way I want to do it. We'll put a bar that goes from the bottom one here up to the top one on both sides, then a bar that goes across, and then we're going to put a bar across the back here, and a bar that joins those two bars, and then those two shocks are going to mount to that other bar, and it should be, I don't know, it should do something. And then the push rod's going to go from the joint out here, where these two pieces meet right here. I'm going to build a plate or something to weld our tabs to, and then this aluminum rod, just pretend that is our push rod. That's going to push on outside right here, going to push on the shock, and then we'll just have to flip these over so we can put our sway bar also on the same side. That also keeps the weight ahead of the tires with the shocks mounted more forward, and then it gives us more room for that diffuser we were talking about before to come up through the floor, and then it also keeps the body panels lower, because if I flip these around, the only plane that they would go on is they have to come straight off of here. It would actually be higher than this bar, and it would look super funky. So I think that's the best solution we've got without, you know, using a design program or CAD or anything like that, just flying off the seat of our pants. Now here's one thing to keep in mind. F1 teams pay like so much for engineers to design and engineer everything. I pay myself nothing to engineer this, that's why it's not really engineered. But when you really think about it, the amount that they pay their engineers and how much they use the bathroom, they pay their engineers more to go to the bathroom than I even sneezed at how much I paid for this cart. So keep that in mind when you're critiquing my build here. Gotta notch this pipe. It's gonna go right here. We gotta match that angle over here, and then we're gonna build a pipe across here, and that's where our two shocks are gonna mount. Good job, Kyle. Bad job, Kyle. And there you have it. All we have to do is flip the bell cranks around now and build from out here, the push rod up there, and we're golden. Also, I will brace this bar somehow, give some stability to just that bar instead of just pushing on it at the flex area. Engineering at its finest. We're just gonna flex that bar, that's the suspension. Oh, very nice.
It's very nice.
All right, time for the big moment. We've essentially waited all video for this moment to the point where this thing doesn't need ratchet straps to hold itself up anymore, which is like a huge accomplishment. And I don't know if it's gonna work. So we'll just pull it off whatever our makeshift intercooler stand is here and see if we have suspension in the rear. Holding itself up, that's promising. See if we push on it. Ah, the rear is definitely way tighter than the front is. Whew. Yeah, it's definitely way tighter. I might have to redesign our bell cranks to allow a little more leverage. I did pull the mounting points in compared to the front, so we're gonna need a little more leverage on the shock, and I don't think I'm going to be able to attain that with just moving the hole, just because of where the hole is mounted. I had a lot of things to work around back here, and I'm glad that we have this portion done. That is suspension. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
So, front shocks.
Dang.
Super soft.
Yeah.
The rear is actually super stiff. I might have to redo the bell cranks.
Oh, really?
Rear shocks.
Yeah, they're definitely stiffer, aren't they? But
Definitely.
I guess the engine's in the back, so they
Engines in the back. So, it's gonna need some tuning for sure, but you know, for a guy building something out of a shed, not too bad.
basically.
If you made it this far into the video, you might appreciate this video right here, and then hit that subscribe button. Peace easy, get that beat.